There's something about a ship that looks like it's only barely supposed to fly that makes you all the more excited to see it fly. Drake Interplanetary is not concerned with your aerodynamics, your aesthetics, or your safety regulations. Drake doesn't sell ships, it sells edge, and some people find that a bit exhausting. But for my first episode of OEM Spotlight, a series where I'll be guiding you through the lore, branding, and most popular ships of each shipmaker, we'll be covering Drake Interplanetary, currently the most popular ship manufacturer according to my own org stats. If you're interested in this series, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll link the whole playlist for you, and you can get caught up. And if you're here for just Drake, well, thank you for coming to my Tomato Talk. Drake feels like home if your home is a mess. Avoiding the stoic interiors of Origin and the utilitarian drawl of RSI, Drake leans into the machinery in space feel. Firefly in Serenity, the Razor Crest in The Mandalorian, anything out there flying the flags of Beltalowda. You can feel at ease knowing you're not going to break anything that's already kind of broken. To be honest, the Belters probably wouldn't appreciate that comparison though, as Drake Interplanetary is often associated with outlaws and pirates. Oh, what does that say about my org? How they got this reputation, though, is not necessarily their fault. About 110 years ago, in 2845, the UEE ran a contest requiring entrants to design a ship that could be quickly produced to equip distant home defense squadrons in times of need. The Drake Cutlass was submitted, but ultimately it lost to the now forgotten ship, the Wildcat. But that didn't stop everybody from noticing how reliable and replicable it was, and so the group pitched it to private militias as an affordable and capable stalwart of any space force. The thing sold like hotcakes, or I guess like ships at Invictus Week. Within 9 months, the group formed the company Drake Interplanetary with some of the designers of the Cutlass and the lead designer Jan Dredge as the CEO. They had 6 off-world factories pumping out ships, licensed dealerships in 9 different star systems, and within 5 more years' time, they had become the 5th largest ship OEM and were lauded for challenging companies that had been in the game for centuries. It was a good time, but by the turn of the century, Vanduul raids had largely broken up. Things were kinda safe, well, the safest they had been in a while, and sales were starting to dry up with the UEE, but not across the board. See, gangs and pirate clans are not all that different from PMCs, and it turns out the Cutlass is really good for quickly stripping somebody of their wheels and getting away unnoticed. Rather than backing down from this growing reputation that was starting to seep into Drake, they leaned into it. They released the Caterpillar, the Buccaneer, and started hosting Drake Defense Con, a ship celebration separate from the rest of Invictus Week in May because Drake is not officially invited by the UEE military. To add salt to wound, instead of planting their headquarters on Earth or Terra, somewhere closely associated with human society, they located their headquarters on the unorthodox Magnus II, Borea, a planet known for its economically embattled nature after a depression caused by the UEE moving out of the planet. The edgy outsider that's a little too cool comes off very strong with this one. The name Drake was even chosen as a smooth-sounding name, specifically for the appeal it might bring to the ships under the brand. Another one of these we want to be cool decisions was made with the ship Vocalizer. They definitely went for someone that could be considered more sexy and stylish.
Hello and welcome aboard your Drake Interplanetary craft. Your systems are online.
As opposed to this Aegis Combat Assist voice.
Aegis Combat Assist. Systems green.
Feels more gruff and commanding.
Kill.
Though some people find that sexy. While the ships reek of function over form, no BS design, get the job done even if it means contracting tetanus, don't take that to mean they haven't paid attention to and curated that reputation. But enough about that. Let's talk about those ships. This is going to be an overview of the big names of Drake. I'm not counting stats. We're looking at what makes these ships so Drake, from the Cutter up through the Kraken. So, the Cutter. Scrappy, simple, independent. A simple vehicle for the most basic Star Citizen has to offer. Easily replicated in 3 different versions meant for general usage, long-distance voyage, and reconnaissance jobs. Getting familiar with a ship this malleable is just good long-term planning, because you'll have reasons to hold on to a small ship as you progress through the game, and this one comes with habitation, cargo space, some nifty window armor covers, and a couple size 2 guns. If you like the vibes, this is one of the best ways to start the game. Just be ready for a little less comfort in your life. The Clipper is the literal definition of the Star Citizen solo daily driver. Everything you need to survive: medical, cargo, engineering, habitation, crafting, and of course, transportation. All wrapped inside of one of the ugliest or most beautiful designs you've ever seen. An accordion-style elevator, hand crank controls, exposed engineering equipment, trapdoor navigation. It's thrown together for sure, but just enough to get you where you need to go. With 4 size 3 guns, seats for 2 more passengers, and 12 SCU of cargo storage, the Clipper is one of the most enticing packages from Drake. But the Cutlass Black is where all eyes turn for the Drake representative. There is no more Drake ship than this. This is and has been one of the best and most highly recommended small ships in all of Star Citizen for almost 10 years now. Combat, cargo, scavenging, ground or vehicle mining, cruising with your friends, it's all possible with this ship, but not going to the bathroom. Don't ask. If you were to choose a ship in Star Citizen that could get you the widest amount of available gameplay for the least amount of AUEC, this is it. It's not a mistake that this is the ship that made Drake Interplanetary, but you'll still want to be careful. Drake is notorious for the occasional mishap in their ships, and they're not going to be the one with the most cargo space, firepower, or defenses, just the one that can try out all 3. And if you did want to explore more than that, there are still 2 other variants for bounty hunting and medical gameplay that you can check out in game too. Upgrading from the Cutlass Black is a tough choice when it comes to Drake. The company is known for its rickety designs, its oversized thrusters, rustic vibes, and awkward shapes. The Corsair and the Caterpillar both check all these boxes in pursuit of very different things at some different sizes. With the Corsair, you have a stylish, supposed explorer with a bristling 6 forward-facing guns and 3 turrets. 72 SCU of cargo space, habitation room for up to 4 crew, storage for weapons, a vehicle, and a fairly striking design. This is one of the best ships for a 2 to 4 person crew looking to run a multitude of contracts, but a low clearance and an awkward wing setup can make it kind of a pain to get around at times. The Caterpillar, on the other hand, is pure cargo logistics, boasting an admittedly kinda useless tractor beam at the moment. It opens up to provide a ton of space to load its almost 600 SCU of cargo space. Though the ship itself is old, outdated, and in need of an update, it's also considered one of the most challenging ships to develop by the devs, and is meant to be a powerful modular ship in some future. We'll see when that happens. Both of these ships are a great next step from the Cutlass, though you could step into both at some point for different reasons, especially considering the Caterpillar is twice the Corsair's 55-meter length. The Ironclad is where things get truly big though. Still a couple months from release at the time of writing, you won't find a more home base in space ship from Drake than this. A massive 2200 SCU cargo bay that opens up to the top for easy loading and unloading. A secure storage cargo bay to stop thieves, a repair bay for vehicles, machines, and parts, and a command module that can be disconnected, flown down planetside, and then reconnected to the ship later, with its own life support and everything. It actually leaves the main body with its own cool overlook bridge that allows you to command the cargo loading process with a good overview of the whole thing. This is one of the most hyped ships in Star Citizen, and that's not even mentioning its more combat-focused brother, the Assault. At 120 by 50 meters, both of these offer a pretty big target in-game. So if you do jump for one, you're going to want to be able to defend your pinata if you decide to fly it where Drake is pretty well known for flying. And that leaves us with the Kraken, an actual game changer. This ship represents a different flavor of Star Citizen, one where you roam the stars with your friends or org, looking for some pirates to fight, scrambling for a couple minutes of battle, and then turning in to party inside until the next one. The ship is 270 meters long. It carries over 3,700 SCU of cargo, and it can transport several ships at a time. It's definitely not a ship for a solo player or small groups, but there will be plenty out there to crew and use as a launchpad for your own shenanigans if you have the friends or the org for it. Just don't expect to see it in-game until next year, which for Star Citizen players is actually really soon. And I bet you thought I just forgot the Vulture, huh? Well, I did. But not for a lack of pride, and here it is. The Vulture, as the name suggests, is a scavenger. It eats wrecks and spits out valuable materials. It works well for a single player to make some good money early on just flying around and scraping abandoned ships around the game, or taking contracts to do the same. It has a big enough interior with enough creature comforts to make it feel like a nice work-from-home situation, and you'll get all the usual Drake jank that you may be looking for in this one as well. All of this is still not touching on the small scrappy fighter, the Buccaneers, the zippy hovercraft, the Dragonfly, the small industrial workhorses, the Golem series, the thruster with a cockpit attached, the Herald, or the little mule that could. Between the pirate and animal-themed names, the larger-than-life thrusters, the rickety construction, and the do-it-yourself attitude, it's pretty clear what Drake is about. And from my own org, your answers on my poll here on the channel, and the general energy in the community, it's clear y'all love what it's about too, even if it is the most fun company to hate on. I honestly still don't know if this company will actually have more thin or thick armor just because it's coming from Drake, but we'll see. What I know is from their perspective, the future isn't about being fancy, pretty, or sleek, it's about surviving the vacuum, making ends meet, and doing it all in the comfort of your own home. I hope you enjoyed this first OEM spotlight. The old series I made was in terrible need of an update, and Drake made some sense. If you like these lore and ship-focused videos, please let me know in the comments. I enjoy news and development deep dives more than most, but there are many angles of Star Citizen, and I think it's time we start to explore them a bit more if you're interested. For example, I'm currently going through Spaceflight Bootcamp with my first set of serious flight sticks, and we'll be documenting the whole thing. If you want to come watch live as I get lessons and learn the ropes, I'm live every week here on the channel and over on Twitch. Thanks again for watching this video until the end. I hope you learned something in this one, and I'll catch you in the next.